Well, Josh, welcome tonight. Looking ahead to Southport on Saturday. We picked up two draws from our last two matches, but there were plenty of positives in there, weren't there?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it should have been 6 points out of the two matches. I thought we dominated both games. Really pleased with the Warrington performance, especially because obviously where they were 3 points off the playoffs and where we are, and the fact we dominated the game for really large spells. Obviously, second half was not as dominant as what we would have liked, and we probably sat in a little bit deep and we didn't play. It was a bit similar to the Russell one, to be honest, in the second half. So I think that was the frustrating part of it. But what I would say is it's a different mindset with the group now because I feel like we're going into games and believing we can win. And I think that's a real big mental shift from what we've had, obviously at the start of the season and when we first come in, just to really kind of imprint some key principles with the lads, and they seem to start bedding in now and coming to fruition in the performances.
Well, that leads me nicely on to the next question. How have the lads been in training this week, considering that we lost those points last week? What's their morale been like?
Yeah, they've been good. I think it's been a bit angry, I would say, which is probably the best word. Frustrated, obviously, because we did enough to. Well, we didn't do enough because we didn't get the points we wanted. But I think possession wise, we were outstanding. I thought you coming away from the games looking at it going, even the Russell game, 15 shots, and how would you score one goal? So that's probably the frustration part. And then the actual manner of the goals were not fantastic. So it's been a bit frustrated, but the morale was good. Been a while since we've had back-to-back results. So that's pleasing and positive. So, we have to take the positives out of things and keep pushing forward and we'll get where we need to go. And the lads know that. They're hungry to get out of the situation we're in.
Yeah, you mentioned there the shooting accuracy, just what was it, one goal in 15 shots and one or two off target, and then you compare that with what Charlie did for us in our last away game. Wasn't it 10 shots and they scored 7 times plus
Yeah, I
Adriano.
think it was like the expected goals for them was 4, and they scored 8. So, which I'm not laughing about, but it sums up. I look at the moment in terms of that, but no, they were very clinical, which is what they were, which is why they are where they are, which is why we need to be more clinical with the chances we're creating because, we've probably faced 6 shots in the last 2 games and ended up conceding 2 goals, and then we've probably had 20 odd shots and only scored 2 ourselves. So yeah, we definitely need to be a bit more clinical.
But it also, with those stats, it gives you cause for optimism, doesn't it? With the amount of possession that we had, the percentages, the number of shots we've created. It's not as if we're down in the dumps and not creating much and nothing's happening on the field. There seems to be plenty going on, but we just don't have that end product at the moment.
Yeah, look, we're getting into territory now where we're getting in areas that we haven't been getting into all season. So, and that's the reality of it. So you're going to be a bit rusty. You're going to be a bit nervy. There's going to feel a bit more pressure, especially with the position we're in. That's going to take time just to settle down. But the more times we get in, the more repetitions we do it, the more times we get in games, eventually it'll just become second nature. But like you say, it's good. We're playing good football. The morale's decent. And we're going in the right direction. And that's the main thing. Yes, we're not where we want to be in the league, but we are picking up points week in, week out now, which is pleasing. And if we carry on the trajectory and, the last 6, we've won 2, lost 2, drew 2. So when you look at it in that context, you carry on like that the rest of the season, we're going to be more than safe. So, we just got to keep building on performances and, start picking up points away from home.
And we've got Azza Santi in the squad now, and you were hoping to play him on Saturday at Southport. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, we were. It's a difficult one now because obviously because of the conditions today, we were all geared to train, and then the training ground got shut down because of the weather. So we've not actually been able to train tonight, which is very frustrating. Obviously, going into a game, not having a training session, so that's a bit of a concern. So we're not sure yet. Well, I'm gonna have a chat with him. We'll speak to the staff, speak to the medical staff, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with that one. Obviously, we wanted to feed him in gradually, didn't we? So ideally, having an extra training session today would have benefited him. So it might mean that we might have to kind of delay that one another week, and then look at Banbury away.
Yeah. Looking at Southport's home record, they look a little bit vulnerable at home. They lost 5 times in the league at home this season, so that encourages us as well, doesn't it?
He had a bit of it up and down. Obviously, the new managers come in and they picked up some results. So they have been a bit up and down with their home results. So obviously that's a pleasing sign to see when you're going away from home, especially Southport's not. It's a tough place to go. Southport is, especially if the conditions are going to be the way they are, windy, blowing a blizzard or whatever it's going to be on Saturday. It's going to be tough, but they play direct football, they get off second balls, and they press well. So it's going to be a tough game, but if we do what we do, then we don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah, and as well, Josh, we've got 3 successive away games now, don't we? And it'd be great to pick up at least one win from these 3 going into Christmas.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think it gives you, our home form starting to pick up nicely. Our performances at home are picking up nicely. So if we can, you draw your away games, you win your home games, then you're going to be there or thereabouts by the end of the season, aren't you? In the right end of the table. So yeah, we've got 3 tough away games. They're not easy. Southport, Banbury, Gloucester, they're not easy games. I know 2 of them are down there, but they're always the tougher games to play in. But no, look, we're positive. We're hungry. We're optimistic that we can pick up some points in the next 3 games and really put ourselves in a really good position going into the Christmas period.